Is what it is.
Come on, people, we're back again. It's 12th Man, we're back, and I've got a brilliant guest with me. It's Friday, it's 1 o'clock lunchtime, which means that I've got my guy DG on, Deluded Gooner in the house. Bruv, I've just said to you off air that I wish we could announce something that is more than just Kepa, but we are now into the 4th of July and there's still no signings, bruv. What are you telling me?
Still no signings, but Tommy Asu's contract's been cancelled. I'm sure we'll get into everything. Love for having me, Dan, man. It's always a pleasure. Like you said, 1 p.m.'s Fridays, alternating between 2 channels. We're there, man. I'm sure we're gonna get into everything, man. It's always a pleasure. Big up the chat. Smash the likes.
Pleasure's mine, bro. Pleasure's mine. Make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you smash subscribe. Make sure you're getting DG up to his next target as well. Deluded Gooner is always putting out content. In fact, we're going to redirect you there after this because he's got Graham on, which is a great guest. So stay in the house because, it's going to be a couple of hours of football, a couple of hours of Arsenal. And there is actually a lot of talk, but not much action. So let's go through the talk, bro.
You said it there.
Look, hit the likes, people. Make sure you hit subscribe. I'm going to put the logo back up because obviously there is the match bingo that we need to get you guys for. The QR code is there now, top right. Make sure you scan that or click on the link in the description and get match bingo downloaded. The Women's Euros is now on. You can play that as well as the Club World Cup when that comes back. So please make sure that you have match bingo downloaded. Credit £5 and then you can start playing. It gives you the automatic bingo cards and it ticks it off for you automatically. We've had quite a few winners, and at the moment we've got Liverpool in the leaders board, Arsenal in second. And do you know what, DG? Why can't Arsenal be ahead of second, man? Second again on LA. You know what I mean? We play match.
It's written in the stars, man.
So Gooners, come on, we've got Liverpool to chase, man. I've only need 2 more Gooners to win. And then we can actually finally overtake Liverpool in my little...
Come on, do that, people, man.
Man. So come on, man. Let's get a match bingo on. We've got a lot of winners and it's quite easy to win on there. So make sure you get that scanned and click on the link in the description. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to all the mods. We've got Ryan in the house, Sophie in the house. Big up to all of you guys that are here. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and let those people subscribe to DG as well. Let's go through the rumor mill as it come to fruition today, because there's been quite a lot of this happening over the last 24 hours, DG, to be fair. And the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was, of course, Noni Madueke, right? It's come out today suggesting that Arsenal are among several clubs interested in signing him. Chelsea are thought to value him at 50 million. That price could be open to negotiation. Now, there's a lot of talk about this one. It's not just this source. There's quite a few sources from Romano and Ornstein suggesting that he's one of the names on the list. And I wanted to get your thoughts on the player and if you think he'd be a good signing for Arsenal, because I think everybody knows my thoughts, bruv.
You know what? Let me be kind to him. I guess I like his attitude because I see some players that have all the ability in the world. They don't necessarily believe in themselves. Obviously, he's got some level of ability. He's playing for Chelsea, came through at PSV, plays for his country. So he has got ability and things of that ilk. He can provide competition for Saka off the right. He can play off the left. He is English and all of that jazz. But Dan, for me, I'm not with it, man. Maybe I'm just a fan. I'm just not with it. It just sends out the wrong message to me, because if we were to sign Madueke, I'm sure we'll get onto all these Ezes and Rodrigos and this one and that one. That would tell me that we've tried to go through all of those things and it hasn't happened. Where I'm a bit nervous or anything of that kind of ilk, Dan, is the sense that because we've been shopping in Chelsea's bins, it could happen really and truly. Like, it could happen. 50 million, surely we can spend resources elsewhere. I mean, he's not going to play off the right-hand side for Saka too much. I don't know if he's going to be a genuine long-term option. It just feels like the easy signing, better yet, to make, especially because he's got 1 foot out the door. He is linked with a bunch of other clubs, and I do guess, Berta's job is to be able to pivot, and we hear about getting deals done at multiple times, but for me, I'm not on it, man. I can't really get behind it. If he signs for Arsenal, of course, we'll all support him. But no, I don't know. It's a no from me in many aspects. I don't know. I guess people sit there and say, if Arteta wants him and this and that, then fair play. And there's been so many rumours. There is some level of legs to it, really. But I'm not behind it, Dan, man. I'm not behind it.
I'm not behind it. I'm not buying it. I don't want him. I think he's an average player. And I would actually prefer Ethan Nwaneri to back up Saka. I would.
Exactly.
He actually scored more goals than Madueke last season with less game time. I think he's a higher ceiling potential. I think he's one of our own that you want to look after. Max Dowman's coming through as well. People are talking about him getting minutes. I'd rather go with the young kids than go and spend 50 million on Noni Madueke. Now, don't get me wrong. If this is the guy that Arteta wants, on your head be it, £50 million, make sure that 50 million is on top of who you're bringing in on the left, attacking mid and striker. Don't let him take away the position of an Eze or a Rodrygo potential or a Gyökeres potential. This would be a waste of money. If
Make sure you win the trophy regardless as well.
And how much would you actually say you'd be like, meh, all right then? Because like 50, 40, 30 for me, no. If it's like lower than that and you really want him and it's not going to affect other business, go for it if you really think he's the guy. I don't, but I hope to be proven wrong. Where are you at in terms of price for him, man? I think it's a mad money.
Dan, you said it there. Like, if it didn't affect, these Rodrygo shouts and Gyökeres and this one and that one, and, you really wanted to do it and we've done the bulk of the business, then great. I genuinely think because he's on, the good side of 20, he is an England international, he is playing for Chelsea, he's probably going to be on like 100 grand a week, probably looking at a 50 million kind of transfer fee. It seems like 50 million is the new 20. So I do think you're looking at a significant outlay, bro. It don't make sense. It don't, for the fees that's being projected in the media or like the articles that we're going to go over / have gone over. Nah, Dad, man, I struggle to find how this makes sense. I really do. I really do. And you said with Nwaneri as well, bro, like you'd rather him just get the minutes off the right hand side.
Facts. I would. And I think that he did well last season for Arsenal. I think he deserved more minutes, if I'm honest with you, in the start and back end of the season. And Ethan, I think, has got unbelievable potential. Madueke, look, I'm not saying he's a scrub or a bad player. I'm just saying that I don't think it's a player that was necessary when you have Ethan there already that could do a better job, if not the same job, for less money. I just think it would be a real bad way to spend £50 million or some of that. And I wanted to read out Romano's quote because he said on his YouTube channel that Arsenal remain in contact with Madueke's camp. To give you my feeling, when people close to the player continue to meet the club, it means the player could be open to a potential switch. It doesn't mean that Madueke's going to Arsenal. It just means he's opened the door to a potential move to Arsenal. Now it depends what Arsenal want to do. And at the moment, there's no official bid that's gone in. Now, some people are saying that we've spoken to the camp and looked at personal terms. That doesn't mean that you're going to get the player. It means that you're trying to psych out whether he's actually interested in coming to Arsenal. Now, from a report I saw last week, it suggested that he had concerns over his game time because of Bukayo Saka. Now, he doesn't really get that much of a game time at Chelsea because of the likes of Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, etc. I just don't know if this is actually a good move for Madueke, if I'm honest with you, either. Like, for me, he's at an age where he needs to play football, and I would just believe maybe there's better teams out there for him, that maybe it is a Newcastle. I know they're linked with Elanga. Maybe you go towards the level of a West Ham and say, look, I stay in London, but I'll try and see what they're saying. Fulham, Brentford. These are the sort of teams I think Madueke should be going to try and get first team football and keep himself in a place for getting called up for the England squad, bruv.
You said it there exactly. Like, it doesn't really make sense. I don't know how much Elanga looks to be going to Newcastle if they're really interested in him, but that would make more sense. Big up Murphy for Newcastle because he did well. But would you rather compete with the existing options? Probably Cole Palmer, maybe that Astalvio guy at Chelsea. Saka is playing ahead of you week in, week out, and we both said we'd rather Nwaneri. Would you rather fight them two for a spot, or with the greatest of respect, Murphy, or as you said, with the bunch of clubs? It just doesn't make sense. Beyond the obvious that we are fighting for a title, he would stay in London, you would get good wages. There are some of your international teammates, and we are a big club to play for, and things of that. It don't really make sense for all parties. For me, that would just tell me that every other option we've explored in terms of a wide edition, it's gone left.
It has. And look, I'm going to bring in the super chat from Lawrence because I think he brings up a good point. He's getting tired of the Chelsea sloppy seconds being linked with us. What next? Do we start playing in the blue kit and play our home games at Stamford Bridge? Unfortunately, there has been 7 seasons where 6 of them we've bought a Chelsea player, DG. And it dates right the way back from Willian, where Arteta started, right the way through now to, of course, Kepa. Every year, Sterling's, Havertz, Jorginho's, even before Mikel Arteta's time, David Luiz, Petr Cech, Lasana Diarra, Josip Benayoun, we seem to be quite happy to take the players that Chelsea do not want. And if Noni Madueke was to come, it would be another one. Now, I've got no problem with Arsenal going in for Lavia, Caicedo or Palmer, but please don't give me a Sanchez, man. Don't give me a Sanchez or a Tosin or a, Madueke, Nicholas Jackson. I don't want any of these guys. If they're not good enough for Chelsea, what makes them believe they're good enough for Arsenal? And, somebody made a good comment here about who was it? Johnny said it's not rocket science. Berta's lining up players for varying scenarios. Notice that none of the players he's talking to have a heavy push from other teams. Let him cook. Now, I'm happy to let Berta cook.
Fair
But
play.
if this is one of the names that he wants, I'm worried. Is this an Arteta signing for you, or is it an Andrea Berta signing? Because this is the question nobody can tell to ask me. Are they working together? Is there one getting the players? Someone coming through the door, who do you give the thanks to or the criticism to? Because before it was Edu and Garlic. Is it now Berta on Garlic, or is it now Berta on his own? Is it Berta and Arteta?
It's everyone, Dan, man, because obviously we're fans. We don't know what's going on in the boardroom. We can speculate, and if you believe Arteta is the best thing since sliced bread, it's always going to be Arteta. It's always, when it goes well, it's all Arteta. When it goes left, it's everyone but Arteta. So I'm at the point, the club tell us about collaboration and collectiveness and things of that ilk. They tell us about the process, whoever identifies in there's meetings. So you're all kind of involved. And that point that you've had on screen, I mean, everyone agrees with that. That's why I'd say for me, it would tell me that things have gone left, because I don't think Madueke is the first choice. I don't know how much it all filters, but the Rodrigos and the Ezes and all these guys that can play out wide, if those things don't happen, then I could see the Madueke thing. We know how Chelsea operate. The guy's probably got a leg out of the club. For all the teams linked with him, we are second. We're above his current club at this moment. It would make sense to be up with that logic for him, but nah, man, it just doesn't make sense. But you'd imagine if he signs for Arsenal, there's got to be some degree of Arteta giving it the go-ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, Arteta said with his own words, quotes in interviews, that he has the final say on every transfer at the club. So Andrea Berta is going to, I imagine, identify a player and put him in front of Arteta, and he's going to say yay or nay. And look, I see something that Curtis said the other day where he was speaking to an Atletico Madrid fan, and it was really interesting what he said. I think he might have said it on his channel on AFTV. That the Atletico Madrid fans loved Berta and they thought they were great. But they said if there was any downside to him, it was the confusion of how many players per position we were linked with. So if you want a striker, there's going to be 6 that he'll go and talk to. You want a winger, there's going to be 6 that he goes and talks to. How do you feel about that? Because on the one hand, I'm like, okay, you've got your plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's cool. But is that a bit too confusing? And do the players then look at that thinking, do they actually want me, or do they want the other 4 players that he's linked with? Because I want to be wanted at this club, and it looks like they want 5 wingers, not just me. Do you see where I'm at?
It's business, isn't it? Like, it's business, never personal. That I don't have a problem with, because we could, if we genuinely want you, I do think Berta and Arteta will convey that. I think these players would have to remove, based on what you said, their ego and see that this is a business. We could want you, you might not necessarily want us. You might get a negative feeling. I like that because it's a different world from Edu, in it, where it seemed like we focused on one guy. If that guy comes, then obviously it's all great. If it goes left, we're in issues. So I do like that, because I have been calling for that. As much as Arsenal, we haven't been used to some basic competencies. I think for us, we need that kind of stuff. If it goes left, we can move for this target. We might get a young emerging talent. We might try and go for a household name. I just don't want to be sat here twiddling our thumbs when the season started and we're still talking about strikers and wingers and things of that ilk. So I don't have a problem with that with Berta. Of course, it looks like muddied waters when you see yourselves linked with every name, and I'm sure you've done a bunch of content. 1 minute it's Gyökeres, then it's Sesko. But I think everyone's aware what's being reported via the journalists and in the media and what's actually going on in the world of football could be different reality. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that, because then when I look at the signings that actually have come through the door at Atletico, for all the guys they've been linked with, the hits, without being an Atletico fan, the hits to miss ratio is a lot better, and we need to do that, especially where the attacking sign is. Like, Berta's attacking signing CV is a lot better than what we had. Even when it came back to selling Griezmann, let alone him returning. When they got Luis Suarez when he was considered damaged goods. I know they got João Felix, and I'm not saying he's a messiah and everything works, but personally, Dan, I think we need that.
Look, I've got to be honest. I like what Berta brings to Arsenal with experience. At the moment, I need to see a lot more, because we've literally brought one backup goalkeeper in through the door, right? It's early days. Let's hope we go mad in the coming weeks. There's a poll out there, people. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We've got 850 of you in here and over that now. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We've got a poll going on. Noni Madueke to Arsenal, yes or no? 30% of you want him. 70% of you say no. Let me ask you, before we move off from this, DG, if we are to get him, let's just say it happens, do you really think we're getting a right winger, a left winger, an attacking midfielder, and a striker, all front 4? I don't know if I see that happening, bro. So if Madueke's coming in, I truly believe that if reports are believed to be kind of believed, I think our summer could end up being Noni Madueke, Eze, and Sesko. And that ain't exciting for me, bruv.
I mean, it's not. It's definitely not exciting where you go with what Gyökeres is doing, and obviously you look at Rodrygo's numbers. I don't even know if free attackers come through. I would love that. I do like the fact that I'm sure we'll get into it, but that we're linked with Eze anyways. Me and you both waffle about him and say how he'd be a great player for us. I think what entices me a lot more than Eze in himself is that, again, David Ornstein has said, and all them guys have said, Eze is kind of irrelevant to what we're doing in the left wing and striker. So that's free attackers, isn't it? I personally, if I had to make an educated guess, I expect, and I know expectations lead to disappointments, but I'd imagine a minimum of 2 attackers, whether that's a striker in the left wing or whatever. So I think those 2. I think 3 is wishful thinking. I think 4 is even more wishful thinking, Dan, man. I don't know. I can't see 4 on top of Zubamendi coming in, maybe another defender in addition to the Valencia lad. And all assuming that these are the only positions Arsenal and Mikel Arteta want to address. We don't know. We didn't expect to wake up today and see Tomiyasu's deal ripped up or Partey not signing a new deal. So one thing I'm learning is expect the unexpected slightly, man.
Look, it could be like people are saying that we're looking at a number of players because we believe that there's a couple that could potentially go fall through. So, for example, if Rodrygo's the guy that we're looking at, let's say, as a number 1 target, and then we have Madueke and Eze that are both coming through the door, that could be if Rodrygo was to fall through. Now, personally, I don't want Madueke. I would love Eze, though. So, look, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming days. I will say that. The next bit of news I wanted to move to was, of course, the news that's broke today around Tomiyasu. The world champion, hide and seek champion, has been found, but we've terminated his contract, bruv. Look, jokes aside, I genuinely feel a little bit sorry for Tomiyasu, right? It's not his fault. Yeah, a lot of people believe, like, oh my God, it's his fault. It's not his fault. The guy's been injured, just like it wasn't Diaby's fault, just like it wasn't Rosicky and Wilshire's and Vermaelen's and Van Persie's and all these guys that seem to get injured at Arsenal regularly in the last decade or two. Tomiyasu going, it's been mutually terminated. He just wasn't fit enough, and it wasn't going to be a season that panned out the way that he planned. And then now they've decided to actually go and say, do you know what? What's best for everyone here is that you mutually terminate your contract and you go find another club and try and revive your career. Obviously, he's been chatting to on Instagram as well. The club have said, unfortunately, injuries have limited Tommy's time on the pitch in the past 2 seasons. It's therefore mutually agreed to end his contract in order for him to start a new chapter in his career. He's put a post out saying that after 4 unforgettable years, the time has come for me to say goodbye to this incredible club. Obviously, I've got many things to say, but the thing that I want to tell you guys the most is just thank you for the love you guys gave me. I was so happy to be here with my teammates, Mikel, the coaching staff, supporting staff, and everyone who was around me in the club. From my first day at the Emirates to every amount wearing the red and white, it has truly been an honour to represent this badge. To the supporters, thank you for the love you've been giving me on and off the pitch. I'll never forget it, and it will stay with me forever. To the teammates, I'm so happy that we've shared many memories with you guys. I know how good you guys are, not only as players, but as people. I'm looking forward to seeing each of you guys on the pitch soon. It's time for a new chapter, but I'm forever proud to have been a Gunner. Once a Gunner, always a Gunner. All the best, Tommy. Now, I've got to be honest with you. I actually like this because I feel like it's the best for all parties. How do you see this one, bro?
It's a weird one because on one hand, you know, I'm a hypocrite. I say we need to be ruthless, not rely on sentiment. But I love Tomiyasu. Like, I think he would have been a good option had he have been fit and all of those kind of things. But for as much as I can sing his defensive praises, and he's clearly a nice guy and things of that ilk, the best ability you can have is being available, in which he hasn't done. I think he's played since 2021, 70, 80 appearances, so he hasn't made 100 appearances. Unfortunately, when you say Tomiyasu, word association, everyone thinks, he's made of glass. Unfortunately, like you said, it's not his fault. It's just one of those things. His role was always going to be diminished because since he's been gone, we're bringing in more additions and we're not being able to bet on him. It's a bit different to what Arsenal have done in that we don't normally, because I think he's still out for five months or something of that ilk. We don't normally rip up contracts under that ilk, but this tells me, do you know what? We might be able to save money. It makes me look at it a bit weird in a sense that obviously he's kind of what I just said. He's injured. He's not a negative influence. Arteta likes him. So what's really tipped the balance in that regards? Did something Tomiyasu wanted? Was it something internally Arsenal wanted? Did Arteta want it, or his hands are tied, essentially? I feel sorry for him, but I wish him all the best. The one thing I would say is, isolated to this one, it's not really a thing, but I don't really want to get into that scenario of ripping up contracts. I know the man can't stay fit, and he's not fit, but at the end of the day, he's 26 years of age. I know he's linked with Saudi, but I could see him rocking up in Italy. But wish him all the best, Dan, really. But like you said, I can't call for the club to be ruthless, and then when they actually do it, I'm moving mad. So it needed to happen. It's a shame, but you just look at last season. He played 6 minutes of Premier League football. Needs to go.
Look, he joins Party now,
Yeah,
leaving
another
along
one.
with, of course, Sterling and Neto and the guys that have come to an end of their loans or contracts. Need some players then, DG, don't we, coming in? Because if Party's
Facts.
gone and Tomiyasu's gone, when they're both fit, I think they're excellent for us. Definitely in the squad, maybe some would say in the starting 11, particularly Party. So I do think that we need to look at who's coming in. And I know there's rumours of Zubamendi and Norgard and Mosquera. So, of course, we're looking towards those positions to replace and upgrade on what is being gone. But the next bit of news that broke that's kind of got people talking that I didn't see coming was the appointment of Gabriel Heinze as a coach. Now, we understand and appreciate that Carlos Cuesta has gone to Parma, and we wish him all the best of luck. I didn't know who was going to come in or if anyone was going to come in. People were kind of praying that it was a Santi Cazorla type, but he's, of course, still playing for Oviedo. Gabriel Heinze will join up with Arteta's coaching staff for the training camp in Spain next week. What do you make of this, bruv?
Must another defender, in it? Really, someone that can play centre half and left back. Music to Arteta's ears. Just from doing a quick YouTube search, he seems experienced based on like his coaching so far. Seems very passionate. I think we was linked with him in 2024, so maybe this is just a coincidence that Carlos Cuesta's happened to leave and an opportunity's become available. Maybe we kind of knew that. I'm happy it's been sorted out very quickly, if I'm honest, because you know I know it's not the same, but it took a while to replace Berta, so it's like one out, one kind of in. The quicker you get in, the quicker you can tie into life. So I'm all for it, man. I'm keen to see how we can help. Maybe he provides a different perspective and new experiences. Like he's, you know, you're seeing Berta come in. He's not been at the club before. This guy come in. He's not been at the club before. And we've been calling to try something different. Maybe he can spark some sort of inspiration externally in Arteta's thinking. Because as a club, we have been quite rigid, really. And we need to get out of that if we want to get over the line. So bring him in it.
Yeah, look, he's been over in America and Argentina, learning what he's needed to in terms of his coaching. I think that this one is